Welcome to my next draft league. This is Bewear Battle Association Season 2. I think this was supposed to start like 2 months ago, but the host's Discord got hacked, so it had to be pushed back. But it's finally starting. The format is Champions Nat decks. What this does mean is that everything's level 50 instead of level 100 like I'm used to. This means the damage the Pokemon do is a little different. Not too different, but most attacks do a little more damage than if they were at level 100. And this is singles. There are 10 teams. There's 7 weeks in the regular season. And then the top 4 teams make playoffs. There's 10 Pokemon per team. Sleep Clause, you are allowed to put your opponent's Pokemon to sleep, but only one Pokemon. Baton Pass is allowed, as long as you're not passing stats, or something like Substitute. And there's a couple banned moves. Probably the most important is Hidden Power. Alright, so let's look at our team. I think we had 5th pick. And we picked Tapu Koko. I'm not too familiar with national decks. I think the last draft I did for national decks was Little Cup. So I'm not really familiar with the top tiers, like Mega Pokemon and all the good legendaries in national decks. But I assume that Tapu Koko's the best Pokemon, since it gets Electric Surge. This ability sets up electric terrain when he switches in, which boosts electric moves' power and prevents anyone from any grounded Pokemon from falling asleep. But what's different, starting from Gen 9, is there are Pokemon with the Quark Drive ability, which means they get a stat boost in Electric Surge. And some of these Pokemon are pretty good already, even without Tapu Koko running around to set up terrain. Stuff like Iron Treads, Iron Valiant, Iron Moth, Iron Crown are already good. So with Electric Surge, I assume they're even better. Even without that, Tapu Koko is just pretty good. He's got a good typing, he's electric and fairy. He's very fast. And he has a couple good support moves like U-Turn, Roost, and Nature's Madness, which is basically Super Fang. If it hits, your opponent takes half of their health, half of their current health. Alright, next we have Iron Treads, one of those Pokemon with Quark Drive. Most Pokemon with Quark Drive can only really boost 1 or 2 stats, I think, because it only boosts the highest stat. But because of how his stats are distributed, he can get an attack, defense, or speed boost, depending on what you want. So we went for Iron Treads, we wanted Rapid Spin, we wanted a good Steel type, and we wanted a Ground type, so my opponent can't use my electric terrain against me. So we need someone immune to electric moves. Iron Treads is really good. He's got a lot of support moves. He's got Stealth Rock, he's got Rapid Spin, he's got Knock Off, he has Volt Switch, if you really want to pivot move on him. And, yeah, he's got great typing, Steel, Ground. Alright, so for our third Pokemon, I've got 2 good supporting Pokemon, so I want someone to support. So we picked Mega Gallade. as our Mega Pokemon. So I guess a lot of these Pokemon are like similar to Generation 7. Like Tapu Koko and Mega Gallade are both really good in Generation 7, which is the most I know about them from. So apparently Mega Gallade is the best Mega in Generation 7, and I'm not really sure why, so we're gonna find out. He's got a very strong attack stat at 165, 110's a decently fast speed, and he has a very big move pool. He might have coverage for every type. I don't think so. I think he's missing like Fairy coverage maybe. But he gets a lot of coverage move like Leaf Blade. He gets Aqua Cutter. He gets Earthquake and Rock Slide, I'm pretty sure. And he also has a bunch of supporting moves like Will-O-Wisp, Thunder Wave. I think he gets Trick Room. I think he gets Encore. So he's very good and very versatile. So what I'm assuming is the reason he's so good is because he has such a big move pool. If you get creative, you can find the best move to deal with his like one counter that can take a close combat. So if you're able to bypass that one Pokemon, you can just use that massive attack stat to get through everything else on the opponent's team. And as always, the nicknames have been picked by my wonderful fiance. Our next Pokemon is another Pokemon with Quirk Drive. We have Iron Moth. This is a grounded poison type. It's able to soak up any toxic spikes my opponent tries to lay down. We're also able to set up our own toxic spikes with Iron Moth. And since we have electric terrain from Tapu Koko, that allows Iron Moth to run an item that isn't Booster Energy if it wants. So we can run like Choice Specs or Choice Scarf and still get a stat boost from the terrain. Iron Moth also gets a lot of coverage moves. It gets Energy Ball, it gets Discharge, it gets Dazzling Gleam, in addition to its pretty good stab combination of fire and poison. Alright, our next Pokemon is a Lucha. I wanted an Unburdened Pokemon to go with my Electric Terrain from Tapu Koko. If we give him an Electric Seed and Electric Terrain is up, he'll eat the seed, get a defense boost, and then Unburden will activate because he doesn't have an item anymore, and his speed will double. So he's a very good sweeper. He's got Swords Dance and also Encore to help him set up. Another good ability he has is Mold Breaker, which is a bit more situational, but since he learns Defog, he is able to clear hazards against Golden Go if you're running Mold Breaker. I don't think anyone drafted Golden Go, so that won't come up. But it is something he can do. Our next Pokemon is Seismitoad. We needed a bulky water type and another Pokemon that could set Stealth Rocks. So here he is. I picked him over Gastrodon or Quagsire because he's a bit faster. He doesn't get Recover like Gastrodon and Quagsire, but he does have better offensive stats, I think. He also gets the move Power Whip, which is a grass type move, which helps him to hit other water types. And with his ability Water Absorb, he's able to take most water hits, well, any water hit, and then he can threaten the water types out with Power Whip. Our next Pokemon is Chestnut. I think I really needed a ground resist at this point, because we've got Tapu Koko, Iron Treads, and Iron Moth all weak to ground, and we've got an immunity in Hawlucha, but I wanted a resistance too. So here we have Chestnut. Chestnut also gets Spikes, which we don't have yet, which is very good. Another hazard. And he has the ability Bulletproof, which helps him be immune to certain moves. I forget what, I don't think they're called bullet moves, I think they're called ball moves. But the two most notable ones are Shadow Ball and also Sludge Bomb. So that's very good as an ability. Since he has Bulletproof, he is pretty good into Ghost types. Since Shadow Ball is the main special attack for Ghost types, and he has good defense, so even like Shadow Claw or Poltergeist won't be doing too much damage. I think I only have one Ghost Resist on this team, but Chestnut is like a fake Ghost Resist, so that helps out. Our next Pokemon is Honchkrow, famous for his death animation in Pokemon Battle Revolution.
Taken down by an intense blow!
He has a good ability in Moxie, so if he knocks out an opponent's Pokemon, he gets an attack boost. I didn't realize he was so slow at 71 speed, but he does have Sucker Punch to help make up for that as a priority move. Yeah, we wanted a Dark type to help with any Psychic types we might face. And here we have Honchkrow, so Sucker Punch and also Pursuit are two moves he has that'll be very helpful. Alright, at this point we had 4 points left, I think, for 2 Pokemon. So here we have Dewgong as our 1-point Pokemon. When I looked at the 1-point Pokemon, there were like 3 that seemed worthwhile. Someone had already taken Carbink. Lumineon seems okay for 1 point, and the one we took was Dewgong. Something fun about Dewgong is with Thick Fat, he has an 8-time resistance to Ice type moves, because his Water and Ice typings both resist Ice, and then with Thick Fat he gets another resistance. I don't know how good that is, but it's kind of neat. I was looking at Walrein at one point, another Water-Ice type Pokemon with Thick Fat, who is 3 points. And Walrein has better stats, I think. He definitely has a better hit point stat. But I think Dewgong has some better moves. He gets Encore. I think Walrein gets Encore too. But the big one is Flip Turn. Dewgong gets Flip Turn, so he can take a hit and then switch out. And then our last Pokemon is Pikachu. I don't know if Pikachu's gonna be that good, but I'd like to think that he'll get at least one game where he does pretty well. Since we have Electric Terrain, we can use the move Rising Voltage, which is, I believe, 70 base power electric move, but in Electric Terrain, its base power gets doubled. so it's 140 base power, which is a lot more threatening. And I think it also gets boosted by the electric terrain after that. So really, it's more like almost like 160 base power, I think, with the terrain up. And Pikachu has pretty horrendous stats other than its speed, but it has a unique held item, the Light Ball, which doubles its attacking stats. So with the Light Ball, he can actually do some pretty good damage, and he does have Surf and Grass Knot as coverage against ground types that are immune to rising voltage. So this is our team. We have a very top-heavy team points-wise. I think we had 105 points. And I think I used about 50 on my first 3 Pokemon. Which I think is okay. They are Pokemon that are going to come to probably at least 6 of the 7 games. So I don't think it's too bad that I spent a lot of points on my best Pokemon. In terms of speed, I don't have any really slow Pokemon, which could be a problem if my opponent tries to bring Trick Room. But we'll see if anyone tries to bring Trick Room. And yeah, I do have a bunch of fast Pokemon, which is good. I think was that 5 Pokemon above 100 speed. So that's pretty good. Yeah, so this is my team, and we'll have our first game next week. Thanks for watching.